question de laisser go, you know, son anniversaire et qu'est-ce qu'elle avait fait pour la fille. Can you explain to us what happened on Dasi's birthday, please?
Okay, so about 2 weeks before Dasi's birthday is beginning of August, I asked him what he was going to do about the party and whether he thought about getting a cake and a gift, etc. And he said to me that, look, you know, her mom's not involved, so I'll just make a plan. So I said, okay, please allow me to help you. I can get the cake, I can order balloons, and I can help you make it a happy occasion for her, right? So he actually sent me, I said, what cartoon characters does she like?
Yeah.
Right? So he said to me, it's either going to be Belle or Rapunzel, right?
Yeah.
And then he actually sent me a picture of Belle.
Yeah.
Right? The fictional character Belle.
Yeah.
Right? And I think I've shared with you that message, so you can share it with everyone. And so I went ahead and I ordered a cake for her. I got all the balloons that you see on that picture there. I did the balloons. I got her a gift. I got her some Barbie toys and some puzzles. And then he came to collect, on the morning of her birthday, he came to collect the cake and the gifts from my house. And he came with his nephew, Cedric. I'm sure people have heard this name being bandied around. He came with Cedric, so Cedric could hold the cake. And they told me that they would celebrate, either they would take Dasi to Blandine's house, or they would get Blandine's kids who are of the same age as Dasi, and Tazi's kids who are also the same age, to come over and play for the day.
But you didn't know there was a whole party that was going on.
Well, I didn't know that Lesejo was still very much in the picture.
Yeah.
Right? And I just thought it was a couple of kids coming to play either at his house or at his sister's house. Okay. But I did the balloons and I got the gifts.
Ok, just allow me to explain that. So, elle est en train de nous expliquer clairement que le jour de l'anniversaire de Dasi, vous allez comprendre. Ça, je la pose 3 questions un peu capitales et tout, comme ça, elle va nous expliquer maintenant sa réalité, sa relation avec Kevin. Mais elle explique en avance que les jours de l'anniversaire de la fille de Kevin, comme Kevin lui avait dit que je ne suis plus un homme marié et tout, c'est elle qui avait organisé tout. Les ballons que vous êtes en train de voir, les cakes, les cakes et tout, c'est elle qui avait acheté, elle qui était là. Kevin lui a dit, comme la maman de ma fille n'est pas vraiment dans l'histoire, elle ne s'occupe pas de sa fille et tout, moi je vais faire tout. Et elle faisait tout en sachant que c'est elle la copine, quoi, que Kevin Azaraki n'a moi cité Kevin Boy, alors que c'était très, très différent de ce qui était la réalité. Kevin a dit à sa copine, je vais prendre tous les cadeaux, je vais prendre tous les ballons, on va aller célébrer l'anniversaire de ma fille chez ma sœur, sa sœur qui est Blandine, comme vous-même vous connaissez déjà. Okay, we're gonna move on from that, and now I would like you to explain your truth. You're gonna tell us the truth of everything that happens. From the story, you said you were in a relationship with Kevin for more than 18 months. So I'd like to ask you, can you tell us a bit more about you? Because I can see from the picture, you're not a young girl, okay? If you like, you're not underage. Like, what happened? Was Kevin your first man? How did you get to meet Kevin? And then at this point, before you kind of, explain to us, and then we're going to say the reason for this call or for this live today, and then you're going to take it from there and start explaining. En fait, je suis en train de la demander. Elle est quand même âgée. Elle a fait 18 mois de relations amoureuses jusqu'au mois de janvier, début janvier 2021. Elle était la copine de Kevin. Elle va nous expliquer, c'est il y a balakate, 18 mois, comment est-ce que se retrouve na bolingo. Et puis, elle va expliquer biso, relation na Mobimba, na Kevin, et banda kindengeni.
Okay.
So just take it from there.
I turned 50 last year, so you're correct. I'm not a young child. I'm not underage. I am 50 years old, and I was married. I left my marriage after trying to fix and build and repair and therapy and all that. My ex-husband went and fathered. By the time I decided enough was enough, he was into it was 3.5 kids after my son. 3.5 kids. When the fourth child was obviously being carried by the mom, I said to him, enough is enough. I can't do this anymore. I tried to get him to bring the children into the family so that obviously there would be accountability from his perspective. But what I know for a fact, if a man does not want to bring his children into his marital home, then you know that something is still going on with the mother of the child. So I chose to leave the marriage, and I'm Catholic, right? And I don't know whether there's any Catholics listening. To get divorced in the Catholic Church is very difficult. I had to get permission from the Pope, obviously through my parish priest, to get that divorce, the divorce approved, right? So I have never, ever wanted to be party of a three-way relationship where the man is married. Okay, I am a stickler for my beliefs, and this is one of the reasons why I reached out when I first saw that Kevin was still very married to Lesego. Right? I needed to reach out to her to apologize to her for my part in the relationship that I had with Kevin. Okay. So when I met Kevin, when I first met Kevin, he told me that he was going through a divorce.
Okay, hold on there. Can you just hold on there? You're going to start from when you met Kevin. Okay, elle est en train de dire, elle est plus âgée, elle n'est pas une jeune fille comme peut-être d'autres peuvent penser. Lorsque elle était déjà mariée, ok? Elle était mariée et elle avait eu ses enfants dans son premier mariage avec son mari. Et lorsque son mari a commencé à faire l'infidélité, son mari a commencé à voir ailleurs, son mari a commencé à aller chercher les femmes et tout, elle avait décidé que trop c'est trop parce que son mari avait fait 3 enfants dehors à l'extérieur. Et comme étant une catholique, elle s'est décidée que moi, je ne peux pas vivre dans une relation à 3 personnes, dont moi, mon mari et une autre femme. Elle avait décidé de quitter son couple, enfin de vivre en paix. Et elle avait juré elle-même qu'elle ne peut jamais se mettre dans un couple ou dans une relation avec un homme marié. Maintenant, lorsqu'elle s'est croisée avec Kevin, Kevin s'est présenté comme étant l'homme qui n'est pas marié. Elle va continuer la suite comme ça. J'ai vraiment besoin que vous puissiez l'écouter elle-même, qu'elle explique sa vraie version et puis pourquoi on est ici ce soir. Can you now explain to us when you met Kevin, like what happened there?
Okay, I met Kevin at a function I went to at a Land Rover Jaguar Experience. I remember it was a Friday, the 25th of July, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. We literally walked into the place together, registered together, but we didn't talk until the afternoon session. Okay. Yeah. We ended up in the same car, and I remember he asked me if you were to go anywhere in this car, where would you like to go? And I told him I've always wanted to drive. There's this area in South Africa called the Garden Route. And I think we were driving a Land Rover Discovery then in that session. And I said to him, if I ever wanted to, if I was to ever get a car like this, I would love to drive to the Garden Route. So he says, no, that's great. I'll drive you. So I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So then he hands me his phone and he says, put your number in my phone. So I did, right?
Yeah.
And then he says, please call me so that I know that you've given me the correct number. So I called him from my phone.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's how I got his number. Okay. And then at the end of the day, I didn't even wait to say goodbye to him at all. Right. At the end of the day, I had taken a few videos of a couple of people that were at the experience. So I shared the videos with them, and he was one of the people who I had a video of, right?
Yeah.
He was clearly wearing a wedding ring at that time, right? So I could see that he was very married, right? So I sent the video and I said, great meeting you. Enjoy your weekend, because it was a Friday and that was it. He also responded very formally, thank you so much for this video. It was a great day. Nice meeting you too. And that was the last that we communicated. Okay. Fast forward a couple of weeks. I think it was it was almost a month. And I remember it was a Monday morning. He sent me a message. Hi, Chipo. So I was like, what? And then we started chatting that day, right? And then he said to me, I really enjoy chatting to you. Can I call you? So he phoned me. He says, oh my gosh, I love the way you speak. I love the way you articulate yourself. I have to see you. Yeah. So I'm like, but dude, you're married. What are we meeting about? Okay. You know? Yeah. So yeah, do you want to translate from there?
Okay. So
I proceed.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Elle est en train de dire que elle s'est rencontrée avec Kevin dans une fonction, peut-être une fête, quelque chose pareil, et Kevin lui a dit, ok, si tu veux qu'on puisse conduire, où est-ce que tu veux qu'on puisse partir, et tout, même vous savez les tactiques des hommes, pour prendre les numéros d'une femme. Kevin qui lui dit, voilà, mets ton numéro dans mon téléphone. Mets ton numéro dans mon téléphone et puis appelle mon numéro, comme ça je saurai que tu m'as donné le numéro que tu m'as donné, c'est un bon numéro. Et elle aussi, elle a pris le téléphone de Kevin, elle a mis son numéro. Attendez, il y a un écho. Elle a pris le numéro de Kevin, elle a appelé son numéro, le numéro a passé et puis Kevin a pris son numéro. Le jour de leur rencontre, Kevin était en train de porter une bague, soit alliance, et puis elle avait compris automatiquement que Kevin était un homme marié. Alors, en ce point-là, ils se sont séparés en beauté et puis quelques temps après, c'est Kevin qui commence à l'appeler comme quoi, oh, j'aime ta voix, j'aime ta façon de parler, est-ce que tu peux, on peut se voir? Elle se pose la question se voir alors que toi, tu es déjà un homme marié. So you can carry on from the point that you said to him, oh, how can we meet because you're already a married man?
Already married. He says, no, but we can be friends. You know, we can just talk. I'm going through a rocky patch in my marriage and I'm thinking about getting divorced. That's what he said to me. So I said, okay, we can meet, but nothing's going to happen from there. So he took me to lunch. I remember it was a restaurant called Cream in an area called Waterfall here in South Africa. It was a Wednesday, I remember, Wednesday afternoon. I insisted on lunch because I know, you know, at a certain time you have to go home, right? Yeah. So we went to lunch and we ended up, I think lunch was very long. We got along very well. We could talk for hours. We could make each other laugh. He's very good company. Okay. And then from there, obviously he kept trying to see me, etc. I would agree to have coffee or whatever, but it never progressed from there. And then I got a message one evening saying I've left the house. That was in October. Like middle of October, 2019. Right? He says, I've left the house. I've finally done it. We are going to get a divorce now.
That's okay, hold on there. Just hold on there, please. Voilà, elle est en train de dire, lorsque Kevin commençait à l'appeler au téléphone, genre, est-ce qu'on peut se voir? Est-ce qu'on peut se croiser? Et tout, elle qui dit, mais toi qui es déjà marié, comment est-ce qu'on va se voir? Comment est-ce qu'on va encore se croiser? Et Kevin insiste que non, je suis en train de passer un moment trop difficile dans ma vie, là où je suis en train de divorcer maintenant, je suis en train en plein divorce et tout, j'ai besoin de parler avec quelqu'un, j'ai besoin de que quelqu'un puisse me garder compagnie. Ils sont partis pour lunch. Lunch en français, c'est les repas de midi, hein, je pense comme on appelle ça. Souper, je sais pas si c'est quoi. Voilà, elle a pris sa copine, elle l'a ramené dans un restaurant, Cold Cream, et ils sont partis, ils ont mangé. Et en tout cas, elle insiste que Kevin, c'est quelqu'un de bon. Si tu es avec lui, c'est un bon compagnie au sexo et puis il va te mettre à l'aise et tout et tout. Et puis, quelques temps après, Kevin qui envoie les messages à sa copine en disant que non, finalement, j'ai divorcé, on vient de nous divorcer. Vous voyez un peu les tactiques, les techniques. Il prend vraiment son temps, hein, pour que son histoire puisse devenir vraie. Elle ça que non, tu m'as vu avec la bague, je suis mariée, je passe un moment difficile, est-ce qu'on peut être amis? Et quelques temps après, il lui dit, finalement, je l'ai fait, finalement, on est divorcé. You can take it from there now. When he told you he's divorced.
Left the house. He's left the house and he left Lesego in the house. I didn't even know her name was Lesego then. He told me her name was Doria. Right? And I know part of Lesego's second name has the Doria part in it.
Okay.
So he told a part truth there. And after he moved out of the house, that's the first time he asked me for money. And I remember it was towards the end of October. He asked me for 30,000 rands, which equates to about $2,000 in today's money. $2,000. Then, and the story he told me was that, look, I don't have money now. My soon-to-be ex-wife has cleaned out our bank accounts, and I just need some money to help me with, getting food for the kids, etc. So I said to him, look, I was traveling. I was going to Dubai. Yeah. And I said to myself, I've only just really started opening up myself to this man. I can't give him $2,000. I'll give him $1,000. So I gave him 15,000 rands instead of the 30 that he asked for.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I went, and the agreement was he would give the money back, because I said to him, look, this is part of the money I've been saving for my trip to Dubai.
Yeah.
Right. So I will need it back because it's part of my shopping money.
Okay. So I just hold you there. En fait, Kevin qui commence maintenant à devenir un peu ami avec sa ex-copine, et il commence à dire à sa copine, écoute, tellement que je passe un moment trop sale dans ma vie, est-ce que tu peux m'emprunter $2,000? Si tu me donnes $2,000, ça va m'aider pour mon divorce, ça va me faire blablabla et tout. Comme vous-même, vous savez, hein. Et elle dit, $2,000, c'est un peu trop. Moi, je suis en train de partir à Dubaï, et elle me dit maintenant que, en tant que je ne connaissais pas cet homme, et il n'y avait pas vraiment beaucoup de trust, genre, elle n'avait pas assez confiance dès le début, et tout. Yes, you can carry on now.
Okay, so I get on my plane to go to Dubai. In fact, he took me to the airport. I get on the plane, and then he says to me, while you are in the air, I'll do the transfer. Right?
Yeah.
So I get to Dubai, and I don't know whether some of you heard, there was a voice note that I shared with another YouTube journalist, and I sent him a voice note saying Dubai was hard, right? Yeah. While I was in Dubai, he never paid me that money, right? And I was out of pocket because of that money.
Right.
So I never got that money back. So I come back, and then that's when he told me the whole story that, look, we thought that we would be able to get the money back, but the ex-wife has taken all the money, and it now has to be part of the divorce settlement, and they have to start investigating, etc. Right? So fast forward, this is now going into November. He tells me, that's when he asked me towards the end of November, he asked me for 150,000 rand, right? And I'm sure you've all heard that voice note where he says, I know I owe you a lot of money, but please, can you help me with 150,000 rands?
Yeah.
Right?
Donc, voilà. hold on, elle est en train de dire, lorsque la relation a commencé, Kevin était là juste pour demander l'argent. Donne-moi ça. Je vais te rembourser aujourd'hui. Je vais te rembourser demain. Écoute, la femme a pris tout mon argent. Mon argent est parti. Genre, je ne peux plus accéder à l'argent. Une fois j'aurai de l'argent en mon nom, je vais te repayer. Donc, c'est maintenant devenu lelo, lobby. Lobby kuna. Genre, juste tout le jour, il y avait de nouvelles demandes venant de Kevin. Vous comprenez que cette femme, elle est un peu bien côté financière et tout. Donc, Kevin a trouvé Moutunae Maboko Bank nae comme il y a Willy Moucheni. Continue. Can you just carry on from there, please?
Okay. So I said to him, and at that time he told me that the ex-wife was a senior exec in the bank. And that they had found out that she had worked with someone from the Reserve Bank, the central bank, and had been able to forge his signature so that she could get, obviously, power of attorney over his accounts. And she had cleaned out his investment account and also his personal check account. And he purported to have a lot of money. Now, this story was very believable because I have seen in other situations where husbands and wives have taken money from each other's accounts. And plus, it made sense because she works in a bank, right? She's a senior manager in a bank, so it's very plausible that she would be able to do that, right? Further to that, what made it more believable, the car that I'm sure you've all seen was repossessed. That car retails for upwards of almost 2 million rands. So that car is not a cheap car, okay? Kevin dresses very expensively, right? And also the last thing, the house that he showed me was his house, which I have since learned is not his house. That house costs $1 million.
Okay.
So just before you translate, for him to sell that story, it was so believable. His car was expensive, his house was expensive, he looked expensive, and he's a doctor. So obviously, I will get my money back when all the legal proceedings are concluded.
Okay. Elle est en train de dire, une fois dans la relation avec Kevin a noté qu'elle a un rêve. Je suis un docteur. Je suis en train de traverser un divorce. La femme a confisqué ou bien la femme retient tout mon argent. Et Kevin a pris même des photos non existantes d'une maison. Elle a envoyé ça à cette dame. Regarde ma maison, c'est ça. Une fois que le divorce sera finalisé, j'aurai mon argent, je vais te rembourser. Comme tout Congolais dans cette live qui se respecte, vous-même, vous savez, Kevin aime bien s'habiller. Et puis maintenant, c'est la femme qui commençait à financer et voilà. Et puis, elle croyait vraiment en cet homme parce qu'elle dit déjà, il s'habille bien comme ça, il ne peut jamais être un menteur ou soit quelqu'un qui est là juste pour l'argent. So I've just tried to explain about him, the dressing up and then selling you a dream story of him being a doctor and all the rest. So what happened from there?
Okay, so that was now going into December, right? That's around the time that Eunice had the baby. And also the pattern changed, right? The Kevin that I used to talk to before the divorce was now a lot more available. I mean, he used to come to my house almost every day. Okay, he used to come to my house and be in my house until midnight.
Every day.
I don't know any married man that can do that, right? And the times that he didn't come, he told me that, you know, I'm now a single father. I've been left the care of the 6-year-old. And then also, as we started to talk in October, that's when he told me about his older daughter. I've since learned that daughter does not exist. He spoke to me about a daughter called Lashwana, who at that time was 20 years old, finishing off her Bachelor of Commerce degree. Okay. And the reason why he explained why he could come and see me so often was because he said Lashwana was very happy to look after Dacia, right? And I would encourage him, no, go spend time with the kids today. I think you've seen me enough. Then he'd insist, no, I'll just come for a short while. I'll come and have lunch with you, and then I'll go home to be with the kids.
Yeah.
So the other reason why I gave him money was obviously now he doesn't have money. He's got 2 children that he's supporting.
So
I don't want the kids to be uncomfortable.
So hold on. He told you about a daughter that never existed. Is this
the
the one
daughter does not exist?
Made the cake?
Yes, the one with the 21 birthday cake. Her name is Lashwana. According to him, her name was Lashwana, and they called her Lash for short.
Okay.
Yes, that cake you're showing is the cake I bought. I bought Lashwana for her birthday this last year.
I've just shared that cake photo. Ok, la photo que vous êtes en train de voir là, Kevin dit à madame, écoute, je suis père de 2 enfants, ma deuxième fille s'appelle Lash, et c'est son anniversaire. Je viens de vous partager même la photo. Là, maintenant, vous êtes en train de voir ça. Et elle part amoureuse qu'elle était. Elle fait même un gâteau. Mais je tiens à vous rappeler que cette fille de 21 ans, Lachi, n'existe jamais. Elle a fait un gâteau. Elle a envoyé des cadeaux. Elle m'a bombardé avec beaucoup de photos que je peux même pas tout partager. Mais si vous voulez, sans même en privé. Et maintenant, elle a appris que l'enfant n'existe pas. Écoutez d'abord ça, I'm just shocked. I don't know if you can see the screen. I'm just sharing now. I was having some trouble sharing photo. Now I'll be able to share everything you've given me on here. So, et puis elle a fait les gâteaux et tout pour Kevin. Comprenez que c'est quelqu'un qui est un docteur. Tu as l'espoir. Et maintenant, I'm going to explain how Kevin became available. Avant son divorce, Kevin venait chez sa copine quelque temps, hein, par exemple, même après 2-3 jours. Mais lorsqu'elle est divorcée, il a menti à sa copine qu'on est maintenant divorcés. Kevin venait chez elle presque chaque jour. Kevin était avec elle every other day. S'il ne vient pas lundi, il sera là mercredi. S'il ne vient pas mercredi, il sera là vendredi. Okay, so what's next?
Okay, so I bought, so that was December, right? And then he asked me to find him a flight to go to Kinshasa. He said that his parents insisted that he come home for Christmas with his kids, because it would be the first Christmas without the wife. So I went onto the website. I found seats on Rwanda Air. And then I don't know who gave him that money to buy those tickets, because I certainly didn't buy the tickets. And then he showed me his booking. And he flew out that Christmas. He flew out on Christmas Eve going into Christmas Day. Right? And he came to say goodbye to me that afternoon of Christmas Eve. And then I think we went to dinner on the 23rd, because I thought, he's going to be busy and then getting the kids ready for the flight. So we went to dinner on the 23rd of December, but he popped in to say goodbye on the 24th. And then he called me from the airport. He called me when he got to Rwanda, when he was in transit. And in Christmas Day, he called me, I think in the afternoon. He called me a couple of times. And then he was in Kinshasa for Christmas, right? Fast forward to the 29th, which I now know is the day he got engaged.
No, let's talk about the flights and everything, because I got some flight ticket that you sent me.
Okay, that ticket that you have, Adrian, is for the ticket that he had when he left to go and get married now.
So this about the Christmas, are you talking 2020 or 2019?
That's 2019 going into 2020.
Okay, hold on. Let me just try to translate that. So, ce qui s'est passé en 2019 vers le Noël, pas ce Noël que nous venons de passer, Noël 2019-2020, Kevin qui encore vient chez cette dame pour, de l'aide et tout, je vais voyager comme vous-même vous avez écouté, je vais partir à Kin parce que c'est notre première fois après le divorce, mes enfants vont passer l'air juste beaucoup de mensonges comme vous pouvez imaginer. Des fois d'ailleurs, et les mais comme vous êtes en train d'écouter et aussi je demande aux anglophones qui sont dans cette vidéo live, si vous pouvez en même temps écouter, en même temps mettre aussi votre translation. Essayez aussi de mettre là, c'est que vous comprenez, ok? Parce qu'au même moment, je suis en train de chercher les photos et tout et tout. Donc, et puis Kevin qui part au Congo. But do you think he really went in Congo at that time?
No, he did because on Christmas, on Boxing Day, so remember Christmas, I was with my own family. So I spoke to him a couple of times. And then the next time I spoke to him was the following day. He called me on video and he showed me, he was telling me, oh, this is the Congo River. Look there, you can see, what is it called? Point Noir?
Yeah, Point Noir. That's the
Congo, Brazzaville. He showed me the river. He was staying at the Rotana. I can't remember the name of that. Is it the Rotana?
I'm not sure. In a hotel.
He was staying in a fancy hotel. And I also wondered, for a person who's asking me for money, how a person who's owing lawyers' fees, how is he affording this? And I asked him. He says, no, my parents have sponsored my hotel. That's what he told me.
Okay.
At that time, Adrian, I had given him, by then I had lent him, it was now 90,000 rands.
How much is that equivalent in pound?
Let me calculate for you quickly.
Okay, people in the comment section can help us. Carry on so we don't lose track.
Okay, that's about $6,000 by then. Okay. So he was very communicative, very available. On the 29th of December, we spoke in the morning and then he went offline the entire day.
Yeah.
Right? The next time I spoke to him was on the 30th. So the other reason I was looking for him was he had told me the day he came to say goodbye, he had told me that the money situation with Lesego had been resolved and that the bank had returned the money into his account.
Okay, let me try to translate that. Ok, Kevin qui est maintenant en Afrique d'ici, les photos que vous voyez là, ça vient fraîchement de la dame. Comment elle faisait les cadeaux à son amour. Comme vous voyez Kevin en cake, son anniversaire, elle faisait tout parce que Kevin était son homme, ok? Kevin qui part au Congo et puis qui appelle sa copine en vidéo. Genre, chérie, je suis bien arrivée. Écoute, et puis lui qui dit, comment est-ce que toi qui n'as pas d'argent, tu es vraiment dans un moment difficile? Comment est-ce que tu es dans ces genres d'hôtels de luxe? Là, vous allez comprendre qu'il était déjà en relation avec Acsa Olangi pendant ce moment-là. Mais il appelle sa copine et commence à montrer, regardez ici, on est dans les fleuves Congo, regardez de l'autre côté, c'est Pointe Noire. Et puis maintenant, elle demande, comment est-ce que tu as fait pour trouver tout cet argent? Et lui qui vend encore une autre histoire, non, mes parents ont sponsorisé mon voyage. Donc, comme je suis là, j'ai des parents au Bazapena, moi, Bozui. Ils ont payé mon hôtel, ils ont payé tout mon séjour ici. Après avoir causé le jour-là, Kevin part offline les jours suivants. Kevin qui éteint son téléphone complètement. Là, je pense qu'il était en amour avec Acsa Olangi. Continue, ma belle. You can carry on then. Sure. Et hold on. Et pendant ces moments-là, Kevin avait sa dette approximativement des $6,000 qu'elle avait déjà emprunté à Kevin. OK? Et pendant ce temps-là, il y avait que des mensonges. Donne-moi ceci, je vais te rembourser. Mes parents ont de l'argent et tout et tout. You can carry on now.
So I thought that the reason why he was unavailable was because I was putting pressure on him to do my transfer. Right? And then initially he told me, no, his banker, he had this personal banker, the banker done the transfer and he's just waiting for the proof of payment so I could take that to my bank to track the payment. That proof of payment never came. So I thought he was holding back on communicating with me because he knows when I'm angry, I get very, very angry. and he can't handle it, right? So I thought that's the reason why he's not answering my phone calls, he's not messaging me, because he knows I'll ask, where's the transfer? Meanwhile, the man is getting engaged on the 29th of December. Now I know that that's the reason why he was offline. Okay. The next time I spoke to him was the 30th of December. In the morning, that's when he told me, look, my cousin and I had an accident. I hurt my back. So I'm sorry. I took painkillers last night. That's why I was not able to answer your phone calls. I'm so sorry. Look, I'll follow up with the guy from the bank, but maybe we should do it in the new year because, you know, it's now the 30th, 31st. People are getting ready to celebrate New Year's. So maybe let's pick it up in the new year. If the money doesn't reflect now, please let me chase it either from the 2nd when the banks are open or when I come back to Joburg. Okay.
Okay.
That was now the 30th.
The 30th of December.
Of December 2019.
Yeah,
he was engaged to Acsa by then.
Just hold it there, can I translate? Alors, elle est en train de nous expliquer que lorsque Kevin avait éteint son téléphone, Kevin avait passé beaucoup, like 1 ou 2 jours sans communication avec elle. Et elle, maintenant, elle pensait que, peut-être il est en train de fuir son téléphone parce qu'il pense que je suis en train de demander mon argent. Vu que Kevin n'était pas en position de donner l'argent, c'est pourquoi Aoki m'a phone. Et lorsque Kevin a réouvert son téléphone, il a appelé sa copine en disant que non, il y a mon cousin qui avait fait l'accident, mon cousin patati patata et tout, c'est pourquoi j'étais incapable de répondre à tes appels et tout, Kevin qui explique. So now fast forward to the 31st of December. What happened there?
Fast forward, he said he's going to church with the family, and I found it very strange that he could send me a voice note, but he couldn't call me. And I even said so. I said, it's very strange. You can send me a voice note to say Happy New Year, but you can't call me. It's the same thing, right? He says, no, we're in church, so I just snuck out to go to the toilet. And I know you talk a lot, so I didn't want to get on the phone with you because then I'll have to cut you off and it won't be nice. So I thought, let me just send you a voice note. So he sent me a voice note, but on the 1st, he called me and we had a conversation.
Right.
Okay. Then he was supposed to come back on the 4th of January.
Now we're in 2020.
Maintenant, 2020.
Yeah. Hold on a second. Maintenant, nous passons de 2019 en 2020. Et elle va vous expliquer en détail tout, même jusqu'avant le jour des mariages. Nous allons arriver vraiment rester là. Et elle est en train de dire tellement que Kevin était au Congo, il était en train de vouloir qu'Oki m'abafone naïe. Et puis, comme Azoki m'abafone, voilà, elle se disait seulement sûrement, elle n'a pas d'argent. Et puis Kevin qui lui dit, ne me mets pas la pression parce que je vais te rembourser, je vais te faire ceci, je vais te faire cela. Carry on.
Okay. But he said that he'd postponed his trip. He was going to come back on the 6th. And I remember that was a Monday. He arrived, I think he said to me, he's arrived safely. He's taking the kids back home and then he'll pass by quickly. I think I was washing my car that day. He came to see me at the car wash very briefly. And then he went home to rest. Okay. And then on Tuesday, I started pressing him for my money again. Right? Oh, no, don't worry, babe. I'm going to go to the bank and sort it out, etc. So he goes to the bank. Obviously, there is no bank. There is no money, right? And then he called me and said, look, it looks like there's a problem. I'm going to see my lawyer. Now, this lawyer, his name is Jason. I've never met him, never talked to him, right? But he's always sang about Jason the lawyer.
Jason.
Right? Jason.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
he said to me, Jason was an old white man who was referred to him by his lawyer that he used when he was living in France. Right? As far as I know now, Kevin's never lived in France.
Wow. Okay. Hold on. This is getting a bit too heavy now. It's getting hectic. Elle est en train de dire Kevin, Kevin, elle est en train de dire que Kevin, maintenant qu'il retourne en Afrique du Sud, il se croise avec elle il cause et puis il dit que non, voilà, j'ai mon avocat maintenant qui s'appelle Jason. Retenez ce nom parce que ce nom va vraiment Obimsaba vérité. Et il dit, lorsque j'habitais en France, c'est mon ami qui m'avait aidé et tout. Maintenant, aujourd'hui, il est devenu mon avocat pour mon divorce. OK, so c'est son ami Jason qu'on est en train de parler maintenant. Mais cette photo que je vous montre, eza o ele kaka na mariage ya Acsa Olangi. Comme vous mona, mutazalaki ko sala ba makambo nyonso tu, ezalaki copine o yaza na phone. Ye mutakenda ko louer parce que mobali ayebisi ke nièce na nga azobala na Congo. Voilà comment biso basi tokoma raswe bolingo elati biso. Can you carry on now, please?
Okay. So then he told me that Jason explained that there was a hiccup. The ex-wife wanted to negotiate terms before they returned the money. And so they would have to sit and negotiate. And once that was resolved, only then would the money be returned. He then proceeded now, because obviously now the money is still on the ex-wife's side. He proceeded to ask for more money.
Oh, right? Hold on. Et maintenant, il prend Jason pour que Jason puisse convaincre à la copine que non, écoute, on est en train de négocier. Comme ça, une fois que la négociation va finir, nous allons récupérer l'argent parce que l'argent se trouve dans les mains de sa ex-femme. La ex-femme aussi, elle est ici. We have Lesego on live. Hello, Lesego. You're listening to us. Et elle dit que la ex-femme qui a bloqué l'argent, lorsqu'elle va libérer ça, nous allons te donner, écoute, Kevin a beaucoup d'argent. Et pendant ce temps-là, tous ces moments-là, la copine était juste en train de financer, et elle était en train de financer Kevin et tous ses mouvements et les frais et tout ce que vous pouvez imaginer. So yeah, now he's telling you about the negotiation and the money going back and everything.
Correct. So now he says, look, I've got these kids and I've got no money. Please help me. So he would ask for, small quantities. I need some groceries. Can I have 8,000 rands? That's what, like $400, $500. And then he would say, look, I need to pay the lawyers again. Can I have $2,000? So I would give it to him. And I would also buy groceries. When I was buying groceries for myself, I would send him with a few things for the girls. Here at this stage, I thought that he had 2 daughters. I didn't know that the older daughter did not exist. Okay. And then also the other thing that helped him, I think in telling this lie,